Sheldon, one of the things I've noted, and we've all really noticed about the team, is when you come off a loss, your team has really been able to just get right back to the win column, losing in regulation only twice in a row. What have you seen from the ability of your team and who they've become after losses?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that stat, but obviously I think that's, makes sense, like where we're at as as a group and our record and such. But I think it is really important. You want to be a team that bounces back. You don't want to let things snowball, and you make corrections. You come out with a little extra push in your game. I think naturally when you've given up points, we talked about that yesterday. I mean, it's that Carolina game. Maybe we're not playing our best game, but we're 1-0 with a minute left in the second period. We're 2-1 a minute into the third period, and to not get points in a game like that should bother us. It certainly bothers me. So I think that just as a mindset for our team is something we've talked a lot about. You need to bounce back quickly. That's so important in this league.
One of the things Timo was talking about yesterday was the patience that his line has had when they're going up against some of the top competition in the league to defend against them, but also wait patiently for their own offense. What have you seen about the way they do that as a trio?
Yeah, that's what I liked a lot about the game. They recognize their responsibility, and Nico, naturally, I think, is that type of player. I think Timo was, one that he has to really be disciplined in his approach. I think it's a lot different for him in terms of his mindset to just have that patience and keep working and, not open the game up unnecessarily, especially playing against top players. And most of the top players can thrive in an open game and, opportunities on the rush and such. So, his ability to forecheck and simplify his game a little more offensively at times maybe takes away from some of the offense, but they've also gotten rewarded at times. So, that's all part of it, and it's so important if you're trying to, be a good player on a good team.
You worked on the power play a lot yesterday. Was it just time to do that, or has something been missing that you just wanted to get back at it?
No, it's more just time. I mean, it's our first practice really since coming back from the Christmas break, and we put a little. We got some touches coming out of the break on it in the morning skate, but just a little bit of time. As you guys know, watching us every day, we don't practice the power play that often. We don't practice in general that often. So just getting the guys some touches here. Obviously, we got a game here today, another one tomorrow. So yesterday was really, we felt an opportunity to get some touches there. And you're doing some power play, but you're also, the penalty killers are getting some work in there too.
Eric Hall is going through a bit of a drought, 14-15 games without a point, but he's obviously contributing in different ways. But are you having conversations with him to try to get him more involved?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this, whether it's, he and Cotter, and obviously Cotter comes up with a big goal for us the other night. Try to find ways, help them find some answers and, stay with it and try to help them with their confidence, and naturally you start to overthink it. And things, but as I just talked about, relates to Nico's line. It's don't overthink that. I mean, we, generally speaking, we get enough goals to win games. There's times when we do need a goal from them, and it can really be helpful. But let's not mix up the priorities here. Play hard, trust us, play to the system and the structure, and opportunities will come. And Hollis had some opportunities. Cotter's had some. Like one fell the other night. Obviously, a great breakaway goal. Mercer's found ways to contribute. So I thought, Lazar and Bastian, I thought that line had some really good shifts for us in Carolina. So, all those kind of guys that, maybe haven't put up the biggest numbers here of late, they've contributed lots to our wins. And I trust that, some will start to fall for them.
You spoke earlier this month when there was that stretch where the puck just wasn't going in about, making your own breaks, getting to the front of the net a bit more and things like that. Do you feel like you've seen what you've wanted from there over these last few games with guys deflecting or being there for rebounds?
Yeah, I thought. You look at, the goal, Palat's goal start the third period there in Carolina. He's right at the net front, sort of pushes off and makes himself available as we attack the net. The goals we scored against Carolina. Thinking about Palat's goal, it was a deflection that went in there. Thinking about Luke Hughes' goal, forwards all around the net, and Luke is converging there. We've scored lots of goals that I like in terms of those looks. We're trying to have 2 and 3 people consistently in the picture, in around the lower slot when pucks are arriving there, and our D contributed on that, as you saw in Luke's goal. We've seen lots of those pictures, both in being in the goaltender's eyes, but also having guys in different spots to be able to respond to the rebounds or any sort of bouncing around that the puck might do in that area.
Sheldon, speaking of those couple of goals like that, 2 games ago, Jack takes a hit to get a shot off. Mercer buries the rebound. Last game against Carolina, Bratter drives hard to the net, takes a hit before finding plot back door. When you see your star players competing and taking hits, not that you want to see them take those type of hits, how invigorating is that for the guys on the
Well, those guys need to get to those areas, and in Jack's, that one you mentioned, Mercer's in a great spot. It's another good example. He's there, but Jack recognizes it and puts the puck there. The convergence of getting to the net, I think for Jack and Bratter in particular, that's something coming into the season was priority for me, to get these guys to understand when it's time to attack the net with or without the puck. And that Palat goal, I think, deflected off his body against Carolina there in the first game against Carolina. If you pause that goal just as it's going into the net, or even go back a few seconds and you watch as Kovacevic is putting the puck towards the net, both Jack and Bratter are turning downhill. They attack. If you pause it as the puck's falling in the net, all 3 of those guys are basically standing on the crease. And for any puck that might have fallen, any of those guys could have gotten it. So that's indicative of what we've been talking about with our entire team, and that includes guys like Jack and Bratter that are so good on the perimeter and establishing plays for us, but when it's time to attack without the puck, you got to get there.
Any lineup changes today?
McDermott will go in. I think that would be it.